The young man in the pit had stumbled upon something dreadful. 10 years had passed since the world's end, and now a human had appeared. He was certain that discovery meant being devoured. Ignoring his belongings, he sprinted towards home. He hastily reinforced the house with branches and peered out. The 10-man clan was approaching. Thankfully, his father remained calm. He swiftly gathered medicine and food, and they fled with his son and daughter-in-law through the back exit. Their escape was hampered by the daughter-in-law's injury. Confronting the pursuers meant certain death for all three. The father quickly opened a hidden hatch, allowing the younger couple to conceal themselves. With no other option, he went above ground to face the threat. His brave but futile attempt to fight back ended tragically. The couple watched helplessly as their father was killed. The 10-man clan searched the house.
As they prepared to leave with the father's body, their leader, Big Beard, noticed a disturbed patch of mud in the pit where the couple was hidden. Suspicious, he went to investigate. Desperate to remain hidden, the young man tried to cover the spot.
Big Beard struggled to open it and peered down, catching a strange, sour odor. This made him dismiss his suspicion and leave. After a long period of fearful silence, the young man returned to the cabin. He mourned his father's death. His girlfriend's condition worsened, and the 10-man clan had taken their medicine. He knew she had little time left. As the family's sole hope, he had to retrieve the medicine. Time was critical. He quickly repaired the house, placing his father's photo inside. After ensuring his girlfriend was as comfortable as possible, he set off, following the tracks of the 10-man clan. He walked for what seemed like endless miles, across many mountains. Cold and hunger began to take their toll. When he awoke, he saw a young boy swimming nearby. The young man followed the boy to a house and, driven by survival, kicked the door open. He quickly exchanged his clothes for the old man's coat and shoes and left, a pang of guilt accompanying his desperate act. He had to get the medicine before his girlfriend succumbed to her injuries. Continuing his pursuit, he reached a smoldering fire pit. The bones within confirmed his terrible fear. They were his father's. Overwhelmed with grief, he vomited. After a time, he buried his father's remains. To better track the 10-man clan, he climbed a tree. As he was descending, a misstep sent him crashing to the ground. The noise attracted a vicious wild dog. Escape seemed impossible. Quickly, he built a fire, hoping to deter the animal. He kept the fire burning through the night. At dawn, the wild dog finally left, and he could breathe a sigh of relief. He pressed on. Eventually, he spotted a tent. He threw a stone inside to check for occupants. Receiving no response, he cautiously entered. The owner was dead. He searched for useful supplies, finding matches, a folding knife, and a whistle in a backpack. He continued his journey. He came to a stream that ran red. Looking up, he saw members of the 10-man clan washing their knives. Their camp must be close. He followed them quietly and soon spotted a caravan, their den. He observed the camp. Only a woman was visible, cooking. Taking advantage of her brief absence, he crept towards a backpack, hoping to find the medicine. The woman returned and spotted him. She lunged, but he managed to block her attack. A fierce struggle ensued, a fight for survival. He killed her. He frantically searched the caravan for the medicine. Looking through a window, he saw the other members returning from a hunt, 4 men and 4 women. He quickly wiped away any trace of the fight and hid the body in a nearby pit. He noticed they had a boy tied up. He recognized him, the child who had stolen the jacket. The young man knew the boy's grim fate. He watched as Big Beard placed the medicine in a leather box. A teammate emerged, but fortunately didn't see him hiding nearby. However, upon returning, the teammate discovered the young man's axe and immediately went to report it. The clan realized their comrade might be in danger and scattered to search. To avoid detection, the young man covered the woman's body with dry leaves and crawled slowly on the ground. Seeking better concealment, he climbed into a deep pit filled with corpses, the 10-man clan's garbage pit. Ignoring the stench, he cautiously peered out. Only one injured person remained near the car. The injured man then went inside to rest. The young man saw his chance. He crept up and untied the boy. The boy, unsure if the young man was friend or foe, shouted. The young man quickly cut the remaining rope and let the boy escape. The clan members chased after him. The young man hurried to open the medicine box, but it was locked. He tried to force it open, but failed. He turned to see the 10-man clan returning. Unable to carry the box, he desperately hid underneath the car, the most dangerous place. When the clan members returned, they realized the boy was gone and saw the young man clinging to the leather box. He was dangerously close to being discovered. Just then, the clan members called out. They had found the woman's body. That night, they reported her death and buried her. The young man then noticed the key to the leather box hanging around the neck of one of the clan members. He watched in anger as this man killed his teammate and released the prey they had caught. He spent a long, tense night under the car, feeling helpless. He took out his matches and conceived a risky plan. He knew the 10-man clan was resting in the car. He had to get the key and the medicine for his girlfriend, whose time was running out. Mustering his courage, he carefully opened the car door. Inside, it was pitch black. He lit a match, its faint glow revealing Big Beard's position. His heart pounded in his chest. He crept towards Big Beard, a small knife in his hand. Slowly, carefully, he prepared to cut the cord holding the key. The slightest movement could awaken him. The tension was almost unbearable. Finally, he had the key. He slipped out of the car and opened the leather box. He had the medicine. To buy himself time, he locked the car from the outside. He ran towards home. In his haste and nervousness, he accidentally rang a bell, waking Big Beard. Big Beard kicked at the locked door. The young man didn't hesitate, running as fast as he could. He hid the key near his home. Furious, Big Beard roared, determined to catch him. The 10-man clan was now delayed. Although the young man had a head start, the clan was fast. They were closing in. At a critical moment, the young man stumbled and fell into a ditch, briefly widening the gap. He continued to run. Passing the boy's house, he decided to check on him. Inside, he found the gruesome remains of the old man and the ground littered with the bones of wild dogs. He felt a wave of guilt and self-blame. He had broken the door, indirectly causing the old man's death. Lost in his remorse, he didn't notice the 10-man clan approaching. He was captured. When he awoke, he was bound. He was to suffer the same fate as his father. He saw that the 10-man clan was living in disguise. He looked at a knife, contemplating escape, but Big Beard kicked him. Big Beard, still enraged at being tricked, wouldn't let him escape again. He mocked the young man and burned his father's photo. The young man's guilt intensified. He then saw the whistle he had dropped earlier. An idea formed. With his remaining strength, he blew the whistle. The sound echoed. Then he heard the frantic howls of wild dogs approaching. His gamble had worked. The 10-man clan, fearing the wild dogs, fled. Now the young man had to escape the wild dogs himself, or he would be torn apart. In a desperate move, he cut his bonds and hid in the trees. Luck was on his side. The wild dogs didn't find him. He gathered his belongings, the precious medicine now secure. He watched the 10-man clan through his camera. Their figures blurred. The wild dogs were still in pursuit. A moment of brutal self-preservation unfolded. Big Mustache, unable to outrun the dogs, shot one of his own teammates, sacrificing him to the pack. The others continued to flee. Later, the remaining members regrouped and decided to split up, still determined to track the young man. Exhausted and injured, the young man knew he couldn't outrun them. He had to find another way. Looking up, he saw plum blossoms blooming in the winter snow. An idea sparked. Soon after, the 10-man clan's young marshal found his trail and attacked. But the young man was ready. He ambushed the attacker, a desperate fight ensuing. The young man, weakened, was no match for his opponent and was quickly overpowered. He was then confronted by another clan member, Huang Mao, who approached with a sword. He saw the young man dragging a body. Huang Mao lowered his guard, unaware that the dead body was the young man himself. In a desperate gamble, the young man had faked his own death. Now, confused and trapped, he decided to fight to the end. As Huang Mao drew closer, he began to notice something was wrong. The once strong young man was now gaunt. As Huang Mao reached for his hammer, the young man attacked first, killing him with a single blow. Only Big Beard remained. The young man, disguised in Huang Mao's yellow clothes, tried to approach him, but Big Beard, the gang leader, saw through the disguise from a distance. The truth was clear. The young man shot Big Beard in the head. He approached the fallen leader and aimed his weapon again. Big Beard closed his eyes, awaiting his fate. As the young man prepared to fire, his bow snapped in half. Big Beard drew a short knife, ready for a final confrontation. But then the wild dogs roared again. The young man fled at the sound. Seeing that the wild dogs wouldn't reach him, Big Beard remained where he was. Enraged, the young man ran towards home. On his way, he picked up a bullet from the ground and put it in his bag. He reached a wooden house on a hill. Inside, he found a corpse sitting on a chair, likely the owner. A left-handed pistol was in the corpse's hand. The owner must have been lonely and succumbed to despair. The young man searched the house, finding more guns and bullets, as well as filtered water. He drank some and took a bottle with him. In the kitchen, he found a full can of food, which he also took. Suddenly, he heard a noise outside. Big Beard was approaching. Miraculously, he had escaped the wild dogs. Before Big Beard could see him, the young man grabbed a rifle and aimed, but the trigger clicked on an empty chamber. Big Beard lunged and they fought. Despite his injuries, Big Beard was still stronger. He landed several blows and the young man fell. Big Beard pinned him down, about to deliver the final blow. Seeing his attack with the rifle had failed, the young man grabbed Big Beard's injured leg. As Big Beard recoiled in pain, the young man found an opportunity to pull the trigger of the pistol he had taken earlier. Big Beard fell dead. Revenge was finally his. He ran towards his own house. Passing the little boy's now empty room, he left a few cans of food there. He continued his journey home. After a long trek, he finally arrived. His house was in disarray. Fearing the worst for his girlfriend, he collapsed to the ground, weeping. But then she emerged from behind the house, alive. From that day forward, they lived happily together.